is a rainy and dreary morning here in Austin, Texas. So I thought it'd be fun just to kind of have a cozy morning together before starting work. And I don't know how long this vlog will be. Maybe it'll just be today. Maybe it'll be the next couple of days. But I thought it would be fun just to spend the day together. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of love a summer rainstorm. I know it's not technically summer yet, but it's like 80 degrees and raining. And so it's just nice to kind of have those cozy vibes in the summer. Also, if you hear like noise in the background, we are dog sitting for my brother and my sister-in-law. So I'm sure at some point you will see him peek up into camera. But in case you're new here, we do not have a dog. But this is kind of like a good test run for us. He's here for a week. And so we're like, okay, this will be a good test run to see how we do with having a dog here for a week, how we do with a dog who sheds, so we can decide if we want one who sheds, non-shed, all that stuff. A great test run. And if you are new here, I also want to introduce myself. I'm Molly. I live in Austin, Texas with my husband, and my channel is about all the things that I love and the things that bring me joy. So it's a lot of running, a lot of reading, Disney, exploring Austin, just like navigating life in my 30s. So if you're interested in all that stuff, definitely subscribe and stick around because I would love to have you here. Yeah, it is 8 o'clock right now. I just made myself a smoothie. Honestly, not the best smoothie that I've made, although the color is a fun green, but we are lacking some ingredients. So I definitely need to place a grocery order just to restock. I don't know if I just like wasn't thinking straight when I did the groceries this weekend, but I feel like we've like run out of everything that we were gonna have this week. So definitely need to place a grocery order. And y'all, I just finished what will probably be my favorite book of the entire year a couple days ago. And it's so hard to pick a book after reading one that just like completely floored you and wowed you and you can't stop thinking about. So I did kind of read one as like a buffer in between. I like was calling it The Scapegoat because I was like, I know no book will measure up after what I just finished. I finished My Friends by Frederick Bachman in case you're interested in reading it as well. So I did just read one like really fast in like 48 hours and it was just kind of just like, you know, bring me back down to earth. But I want to go read for the next like 30 minutes or so before easing into work. I've got a pretty busy day. I've got a big marketing meeting around lunchtime today that I need to prep for as well, but definitely want to spend the morning reading. And yeah, we'll see where this vlog takes us. Who knows how long we'll be together for. Renters who lived here before us left these blinds and there's like 4 black ones and 1 white one, and we just haven't gotten around to changing them because I'm like, whatever, for now they work, they're fine. But every time I film and like have people over, I'm like, oh, okay, we need to change it. So just ignore the fact that we've got some Oreo looking blinds back there. But I'm about 30 pages into The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. I'm very pleasantly surprised to find out it takes place in Fort Worth. I did not realize that when I picked it up. I'm from from Fort Worth, so it's really cool just to read a book that takes place there. I actually don't think I've ever read a book that takes place in Fort Worth. Maybe I've read like one other that I'm thinking of, but a very fun surprise when I opened it up and was like, oh my gosh. But this is her debut novel and I'm really excited to read it. One of my favorite like book YouTubers had talked about it and I was like, it sounds very intense and very deep, but definitely want to read it and love supporting debut authors with their first novels. So I'm excited to read it, but it follows the couple Ryan and Lillian and their daughter Georgette, I believe. In the book, she isn't born yet, but we're following the story of them and we know that both Ryan and Lillian have hid something from one another when they get married. Even just like reading that, it already makes me sad just to know that they both like went into this marriage hiding things from one another. So I'm really enjoying it so far. Like I said, about 30 pages in, but there's a part of me that's like, I'm just like scared to see how it all plays out, and all that I shared is in the description of the novel. We also know that Ryan is an alcoholic and he hid that from Lillian, so I'm definitely a little bit nervous. I feel like it's just going to be a really sad book, which again, I knew that when I grabbed it. I knew that when I grabbed it this morning that it was going to be sad. Apparently I was just wanting to read a sad book, but yeah, I will keep y'all updated. It's not that big of a book. I'm not sure how many pages. I don't even know if it's 300 pages. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little less than 300 pages, so I should actually be able to read this fairly quickly, just depending on how we spend our time, like tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, that's the update. And unfortunately, now I need to get started with my day, so I'm gonna do some dishes really quickly, do like skincare, get dressed for the day and all that, and then start work. Sweating way too much for what was just a 1 mile walk, but instead of rinsing off and showering, I'm gonna do that at the end of the day because I think I'm gonna try and go on 2 more shorter, just like 1 mile walks. I'm trying to walk or run at least 3 miles every day. Obviously on the days I run, I'm anywhere between like 4 to 6 miles usually, so I'm not walking on those days, but then the other day is just trying to make sure I get outside, move my body, get a good walk / like get my heart rate up. So I'll probably go on a walk again after my meeting this afternoon, and then one more around the end of the day. So I'm not going to rinse off. I'll probably throw on like a different top for the meetings that I have. But yeah, I need to go ahead and get to work and start to crank some of these things out. Like I mentioned, I have a big meeting around lunch, so that's like the majority of what I'm going to be working on this morning, but I have a few emails and whatnot to get to first, and then I can hop into all that.
Is most likely to cry during.
All right, the workday is done and we are headed out to have some fun tonight, or at least we hope. We just saw that there's like a thunderstorm warning with potential hail, so we'll see what happens. But we are headed to a brewery that we haven't been to before, and then headed to the Austin FC game, which again, we'll see what happens because of the crazy weather, but hopefully both those things go off. What's it saying? Like go off without a hitch or something like that. It has been a minute since we have gone to an Austin FC soccer game here, so I think that's gonna be so fun. And despite there being like a ton of breweries in Austin, we also haven't been to a brewery in a while because I don't really drink, and especially don't really like beer, except for there is one beer in Disney World that I like, but besides that I don't like beer. So yeah, it should be fun, and hopefully the weather holds off. God. Oh wow.
It was alright.
It was just a.
Please welcome.
The storm last night was so crazy. I just parked my car at the trail and I am like looking around to make sure none of the trees look like they're about to fall, because driving over here, there were so many trees that had fallen on power lines, were closing streets because they just like fell right in the middle. Did not realize how insane of a storm it was. Obviously we did, because we got caught in the middle of it on the highway. It was actually pretty scary because we couldn't see and it started hailing. I was just like, I get so nervous about other cars in those situations, like not about us, but just like if other cars are, you know, like being stupid and are still like trying to drive fast or whatever, I just get really worried. So was very anxious in the car. Obviously it was fine because we also like went to the game and everything. But yeah, it was clearly a very crazy storm. So I'm also curious what the trail will look like as well. It looked like it hit like other parts of Austin more than maybe like this central part. So yeah, I'm gonna head out on just a short run. I figured I would try and get out here, do like 3 or 4 miles. Last night was so much fun. The game was such a blast. We stayed just for the first half. It had gotten delayed about 45 minutes because of the storm, so it was getting pretty late anyways. Y'all know me, I'm a grandma, I get tired, so I ended up going to bed around like 10:30 and woke up or went to bed, yeah, I think like 10:30 or 11, and woke up at 5. So I'm pretty tired this morning, but I actually feel pretty good. I feel like I've been getting much deeper sleep recently since doing my like getting back into routine and just like getting back to healthy habits. Definitely have noticed it in my sleep, and despite eating that corn dog last night, I actually am still very on track with all of the goals that I've set. I'm working hard on just not having like an all or nothing mindset with what I eat. I think sometimes I can go like overboard because in my head I'm like, oh, you messed up, might as well just like eat it all, or like eat all the sweets and then get back on track tomorrow. And that is something I'm really working hard to fix. I mean, not even just in like nutrition too, but just like everything in life. I can tend to be like black and white, all or nothing, and I know that's not the healthiest mindset, so that's something I'm working on. So I'm like, yeah, I had the corn dog last night, it was amazing, it was great. Doesn't mean the rest of my week is like shot. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out there, probably do 3-4 miles. I don't think I'll do more than 4 because then I need to get home, do a strength training workout, I need to shower, I have PT this morning, I've got a podcast recording later this afternoon, which will be fun because I don't usually do a lot of podcasts. I've got a couple meetings in the middle of the day, so it'll be a very jam-packed but fun day. Just hit 2 miles, and turning around, there is a huge branch that fell up ahead, but it's actually not too bad. And it's definitely humid. Obviously it is Austin in May, but not that bad either because of the storm. So I'm really glad I came out here. I need to leave for PT in about 35 minutes. Luckily where I go is pretty close to us, so that makes it a lot easier. A couple years ago when I was going to PT, I can't even remember what it was for, like my hamstring or something. It was like 30 minutes away. So it'd be like 30 minutes there, 30 minutes, it would just take up so much of my day. So I'm so glad that I found a great PT close to me, and I'm actually almost like, is graduating? Is that the right verbiage? I don't know, I'm almost graduating from PT, which it has been over 3 months of me going every single week. It's been a very expensive journey. But I'm, yeah, super grateful for my PT, love her, really look forward to seeing her all the time. It's one of those things where you're like, really any type of provider, whether it's like a therapist, like PT that you just like grow so close to because you see them consistently every week. It's kind of like weird when it comes to an end. But anyways, I've got that this morning. I don't film, especially because I like don't really want to share where I go just for privacy and like safety's sake, but I am feeling a little overwhelmed this morning. I think on mornings where I just have a lot of things like back to back to back, it starts to just like make me really anxious that I'm not going to be like responding to clients quick enough, or then I've got like a lot later this afternoon. It just stresses me out that I won't get enough done during the day. So I'm also really trying to work on that as well, and just like managing my stress across the board. So that's why I think like working for 30 minutes now, knocking out any urgent emails just before I'm gone for a little bit will be really helpful. We came over to one of my favorite bookstores because there's a little like outdoor reading spot, but they have a trivia tonight. So we actually decided to get some pizza, and it was so good. And now we are just reading on the little patio over here, and I'm about 100 pages in to The Bright Years. I really like it so far. It's just sad, which again, I mentioned that, I think that was yesterday morning when I was reading it, that it's just a very heavy book dealing with really hard topics, and it's navigating a lot more than just the addiction itself, but it's also talking about grief and loving someone who's doing all these things, who's hurting you, and it's just a really tough read. I do know that the book switches, or it has the POV of the wife Lillian
the husband and the daughter, and right now we only have the POV from the wife, so I'm excited just for it to transition into someone else's POV, not because it's like too much or boring or anything, but I'm just like, I really enjoy the daughter especially, and so I really want to get her perspective on everything. So it looks like the next perspective comes in like 30-ish pages or so, but the book's only like 300 pages, so I'm thinking everyone gets about like 100 pages. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a quick read. I was able to get through 70 pages fairly fast tonight after we finished eating the pizza, so hopefully we can read a little bit more, and then we might pop into the bookstore. But we also heard there's an event inside as well, so we'll see if we end up going in there or just like calling it a night.
My skin has been so disastrous. I mentioned in the last vlog that I had like that weird allergic reaction, and then since then my skin has just felt so obnoxiously dry. Like it feels like sandpaper, and no matter what I put on it, nothing is working. So I've also like been breaking out and just like a couple random spots right above my lips. That's lovely, which I usually don't break out. So I need to figure out what the heck is going on and get it back under control, especially like the moisture thing. It just drives me insane. So I'm gonna do a face mask, and I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here. I won't make y'all see me in this scary face mask, but I hope y'all enjoyed these couple days in my life and enjoyed just seeing more of kind of the Monday normal things that are occupying my time in my life. So thank you so much for being here. It means more to me than you will ever know. Love you so much, and I'll see you in the next vlog.